Hey guys, today we're playing Castlevania Curse of Darkness. Today is Mother's Day 2013. That's in case you wanted to know the historical parts of this video. This game's supposed to take place after Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse on the NES and Famicom. If you look back on one of my earlier videos, I actually played the Japanese version of Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, but it was called some Japanese like name for Demon Castle Dracula or something. But anyway, yeah, if you can play that version, I definitely highly recommend it. It's way better than the American version. Anyway, I'm already starting to go nowhere. This is for the PlayStation 2. Let me enter my name real quick before I start talking. This isn't a very good Castlevania game, but I judge Castlevania games pretty harshly. This is the last 3D Castlevania that's actually Japanese. After this, all the 3D Castlevanias are going to be made by that, I think it's a Spanish company, I don't know, whoever made Castlevania Lord of Shadows and the Game Boy version in the sequel. But anyway, we're gonna play this. You play as some weird demon guy. I don't really remember the story. I owned this a long time ago. I got this discounted because GameStop's liquidating their PS2 games, which is a real shame because I've been really into buying older games. So this kind of sucks that they're getting rid of it, but it's kind of good because I get these games for super cheap, even though I need to be saving money, and that's why I haven't been playing new games. But you wouldn't even know that because I have a stack of games that I've just been recording but not posting just because I haven't felt up to it. I don't know, it's just, life's been kind of a bummer lately, and I just haven't felt like posting a lot of stuff, and I think it shows through my videos, and I've been weary about posting them, but maybe I should just so I can remember this time. But that'd be kind of selfish in some ways to post a shitty video, and I have yet to even start this. There's no save date. Well, yes, I would like to create save data, but I don't know, I'm rambling and nothing's going on. I don't even know what I saved. I pushed the button too fast. So today was a pretty nice Mother's Day. My mom came over and we ate Mexican food from this place called La Milpa, which has the best burritos ever, and I was craving them for quite some time. If you don't mind, I'm going to skip over this story. It's probably stupid anyway. Oh, this has reverse camera controls. Japanese and their first-person shooters and their 3D games always are clunky, but I forgive it because this is a PS2 game. This 3D Castlevania game on the PS2 versus Castlevania Lament of Innocence, which was the first 3D Castlevania on PS2, and then before that there was two 3D Castlevanias on the Nintendo 64, which the second one's actually really just like a director's cut. Let me see if I can reverse this camera before I go mad. My nose will start to bleed and my brain will explode like on Scanners, which if you haven't seen that movie, watch it. David Cronenberg is a genius. Life gauge solid, like that's even matters. But this game is obviously more RPG based. You level up. The first game you didn't level up. It looks promising. It's interesting to me because it's like a direct sequel of Castlevania 3, which is probably my favorite traditional type of Castlevania game, even more so than Super Castlevania 4, but that's a close second. I think Symphony of the Night's my all-time favorite Castlevania, although I've been playing it too much where it's not as fun as it once was when it was new. This game you gain familiars. I don't remember much about it. I think I traded it in pretty quickly. This is one of those pre-God of War type of 3D action games that aren't made as well as I would like them to be. his block is so slow, and he has to finish an animation. Watch, I don't know how in sync this video is, but to give you an impression of how slow it is for him to block, I'm gonna just push the square button 3 times and tell you when I push block when I'm starting. Alright, block. Yeah, you see that? I'll do it again. Block. Yes, that's ridiculous. If you need to block quickly, you're screwed. But anyway, we're not going to get that far in the game where I think that's even going to matter. The level design's really repetitive, and that's because this game is fairly large, but I don't think they need to make it like an MMORPG where they have to recycle the backgrounds. This game isn't that large. And the fog is pretty terrible in this game too, and that's just for it to keep a fast frame rate, which I think this game would have been fine with a slower frame rate, in my personal opinion. But apparently the makers of this particular game disagree. But that's why I think that the main creator was pretty much dethroned from Castlevania, which is a shame because he made really good 2D games. I can't even remember his name. I just picture him. He's like this Japanese guy that wears a cowboy hat. I think the last game he worked on was that multiplayer 2D game that was basically a rehash of the same sprites for the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. This game had a lot of potential. I was really excited about it and really disappointed. I'm playing this again because my curiosity spiked me, because now I have no expectations. I'm actually expecting the worst with this game. So I figured maybe I'd enjoy it more. Who knows? I've been going back and playing a lot of PlayStation 2 games, which, like I said, is kind of bumming me out because GameStop's liquidating their thing. Like I said in a video I probably yet to post, there's a play and trade or trade and play, whatever the hell it's called, nearby. I wonder if they have older games. I'm curious, because I'd like to play some older games as long as they're reasonable or save. Not that it matters. I skipped the story, so after this video I'll probably play it again as long as this game's experience isn't too traumatic. There's an excellent video that Steve Benway did on his Friday Talkie, which might not mean much to you if this isn't posted when it's actually posted, because there might be a different Friday Talkie then, about what he found out about making YouTube channels that worked, and if he'd tell himself. He said he would, but one of the things he said that was interesting is he felt like he got his best video response when he was himself, when he was having fun and stuff like that. And I feel like that's a big mistake that I made, and I just went backwards, didn't I? I can't even tell. Everything in this game looks the same. And I'm talking about the game, and I should just be talking like myself, but it's really hard when I'm looking at a screen trying to talk to myself. And these videos are like therapy for me. Unfortunately, the thing about therapy is you're usually going because you have like some sort of issue going on, and I'm trying to act like cheery and stuff like that, and sometimes I just want to play the game. But if I recorded this and recorded a commentary afterwards, it wouldn't be the same, so I don't really know which is the proper route to go about doing this. I'm surprised the fog in this game actually let me see those mountains. I'm trying to hold in a sneeze here. My allergies are pretty bad. So they have this Mexican place called the La Milpa, and I've been dying for a burrito. They have this burrito called a burrito al pastor. I don't know if you guys like Mexican food or not, but it's the only authentic Mexican place that's not a chain, that actual people from Mexico actually make the food there. So sometimes the stuff on the menu isn't the most Americanized stuff. Like, I know they have like a lot of tongue-based tacos and stuff like that, which is starting to become more common, but you know, the menu isn't really in English. You gotta point to things, but they have a this gyro like meat called al pastor. It's like a Mexican version of gyro meat, and I usually get a burrito al pastor, and it's the only place you can get it because, can you climb that? Oh gosh, this game is so bare bones. One thing about these 3D games is I don't like the map system. I wish you could run faster. But because for sanitary reasons, I guess it works like a gyro, where it's like under this heating thing where you have to cut edges off, and if you don't cut the edges off fast enough, it like, cause it cooks while it turns around, if you don't sell enough, it becomes a sanitary issue because stuff's overcooked and then the middle doesn't cook away, and it's just a breeding ground for bacteria. But it's the only place that's able to have that kind of gyro meat because people actually get it often enough where it's not a safety issue, and it's the only place where you can get authentic stuff like that. And it smells so good. There's nothing around here that you can get that smells like that. When you bring a little milpa home and you smell that bag, you know what you're in for before you even can eat it. And the next day your car will still smell like it, and it's pretty amazing. Although if you're going on a date the next day, I do not suggest you getting the milpa the day before, because you don't want a car smelling like meat. Even though it's really, really good meat, it's just not a good first impression unless she's into that sort of thing, which if she is, that's kind of weird. I at least personally think it's weird. Is it telling me where I need to go, or is it just telling me there's a door there? There's a door there. How helpful. You know why they did that? Because they think that maybe those doors blend in a little bit too much because the textures look similar and I might get confused. Even the game's admitting that it's a fuck up. All these mermen. There's really not much to do to avoid you. There's probably some lock-on thing that I'm not utilizing. I'm especially not utilizing the wonderful block mechanics this game has. I guess one nice thing about this game is you actually can level up. You weren't able to level up in the first game, but I do feel like the first game flowed a lot better, even though it was like a maze, but this game kind of is too, so it's whatever. Potions in Castlevania games are pretty much useful the first hour of the game, and then something fits into this door. Perhaps it's my penis. Actually, that'd be pretty foolish. But what if it was, really? That'd be weird. Let's see. Where are we supposed to go? I don't even know. Thank you for spitting something I can't even avoid. I wish they... I know people would say it's too easy, but I wish they made a 3D game that played like a Nintendo game or a 16-bit 2D game where you hit something once or twice and it dies, even if it's later on in the game, just to have that fast-paced action feel. Because I feel like every 3D action game, for some reason they feel like the third dimension, you have to hit things at least 5 or 6 times like a fighting game. I always felt like games after this felt like a beat 'em up or a fighting game instead of just a straight up action game. I just would like to see a game fair if you just hit something like one time and it just exploded. Just send a bunch of the things out against me to add the challenge. Or let them have a powerful attack that'll knock me off my ass. That's what they did back in the day. So what if I can walk around it or whatever? I want to play that game. Damn it, Konami, let me in. I'm probably going in the same wrong freaking direction I was before. And I am. What an excellent video this is going to be. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. They see yet to hire David Hayter, as far as I know, for the next Metal Gear. And since I've been playing Metal Gear Peace Walker, which is a great game, I've just been getting into it through the Metal Gear HD collection. I covered that some time ago. And yeah, if you haven't played that, definitely check it out. Look at these skeletons, they're all dressed up. This game doesn't remind me anything of Castlevania 3. There's probably going to be like one prop in this game from the background. You don't even play as a Belmont. Though if I remember correctly, you do fight one. At least this game has more in common with Castlevania than Lords of Shadows. The game has nothing in common. It's a good game, but it's nothing like Castlevania. Like I said, this game has more in common with Castlevania because it follows a storyline. Lords of Shadow, that storyline doesn't exist. And it feels like it takes them an hour. Wish the textures were a little bit sharper. There was an Xbox 3, or not an Xbox 360, a regular Xbox version of this game, but I don't think it looked any better. To be honest, I can't remember which version of this game I had. I'm pretty sure it was the PlayStation 2 version. If I didn't say it before, this is the PlayStation 2 version. Like, these 3D Castlevania games were supposed to revolutionize the 3D Castlevania type of game because everybody's so disappointed with the Nintendo 64 one. And I just expected platforming, maybe like how I said, like responsive controls, blocking in a timely manner, even though Castlevania never had a block. But if you're gonna put one in, and they just make it more like a beat 'em up or a brawler. Quick step, and I didn't even look how to do it. I did something fancy. You know what? I'm not even gonna stress it. So yeah, I was disappointed about that they haven't hired David Hayter for the new Castlevania. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed because that'd be a pretty ingenious publicity plan. I just can't picture Snake being voiced by anybody else. But in my personal opinion, I didn't think the Nintendo 64 Castlevanias were that bad. Beside that mission where you can't jump to make that bomb explode, I actually really enjoyed the 3D Castlevanias, and I think that they were on the right track. The only thing they didn't do right, beside again, first of all, the canon was way off. But again, that one part with the bomb and puzzle solving, I don't think you should backtrack in a straightforward 3D traditional Castlevania unless you're trying to get something extra. I know these games are supposed to be more like Symphony of the Night, but those games work better as 3D games. Even the 2D Symphony of the Night games are Metrovania, some people call them, because they're like Metroid. they recycle the backgrounds. I feel like the traditional Castlevanias always had the most interesting backgrounds, and that's one thing the Nintendo 64 got. It was pretty varied. That was on a shitty cartridge with, well, I was gonna say blurred out textures, but this isn't much better. I do like you can level up in this one, because getting to Dracula on the last 3D Castlevania, Lament of Innocence, was pretty difficult, but at least that game had an interesting story going for it, because it basically was the first Castlevania story ever to be told. Maybe there's something good in that door. I don't know unless I go in it. Just remember, you have to level the crap out of your character up. Did I say Simon Belmont's in this game? I totally meant Trevor. Trevor's from Castlevania 3. I know they're trying to force him into the new Castlevanias that are supposed to come out. And then the series is supposed to go off to another developer. I don't think they will, but I hope they go back to the original storyline. At least that looks cool, but that's just because I'm in like a cubicle sized room where they can afford the polygon count. And I know why they made everything kind of repetitious and foggy, and is because they want 60 frames per second. But I mean, I think this is 60 frames. This is 30 frames per second. That's pathetic, because look at the graphics God of War put out. This actually came right before God of War, or perhaps even after. So I don't know. God of War felt like the perfect Castlevania game that wasn't Castlevania. But I do think the Nintendo 64 version of Castlevania was actually kind of close, beside that one awkward mission. And if they could apply that with better graphics and maybe the gameplay from Lords of Shadow, but have like the level design and more detail in the enemies from maybe even these games are the Nintendo 64 Castlevania. They combine the best elements of everything. They have something decent. I know making games isn't probably the easiest thing in the world, but you know, I still wish I could work at some of these companies. That'd be so cool if you actually had advice and won an award or something like that, instead of recording games on YouTube in your underwear, and your underwear is only an apron to catch crumbs off of various snacks that I've been eating in my drawers while watching TV and playing video games. That's a lie. I'm fully clothed, but I was trying to make the image of the video slightly disgusting and more interesting. I'm actually just scooted up pretty close to the TV, trying to talk fairly loud so the microphone can hear me, and I have no crumbs on me whatsoever that I know of. Yeah, I hope you're not disappointed. I love how the wolves just come out of black smoke. But then again, this is Castlevania. You really can't pick on a game's realism when they have werewolves and vampires and whatchamacallits and doodads and snorks and who's from Whoville and skeletons. What purpose do the saw swords have for these skeletons? I mean, having a blade on it should be good enough. What are you guys gonna do? Cut me up and cannibalize me or something later on? Maybe he's like Frank from Hellraiser, where if they take my blood they slowly grow muscle and skin. That'd be kinda grotesque and cool at the same time. I did not mean to go through that door. What does that mean basically? It basically means it's gonna respawn a shitload of skeletons. Level up sure does take a long time. If you notice, I've only leveled up one level, and I know that I've killed way more than 3 times the amount of enemies I did since I leveled up last time. Then again, I'm only hitting those once and they're exploding, so it actually followed what I said I would like to see somewhat. Always going the wrong way. If these levels weren't so damn identical, probably make life easier for me. I'm actually about to go the wrong way. We need to go this way. These scrolls look like they have a lot of interesting shit to say. Unfortunately, I can't read them due to the whole Nintendo 64 or Vaseline effect. Maybe they brought it out for nostalgia purposes. For those people who did like Castlevania 64, because beside the main character model, this game looks like it could be done on the Nintendo 64. And probably better if it had that RAM chip on it. I just don't get it. And Koji, or whatever the heck the maker of this game is like, we're pushing the PlayStation beyond its limits to what it can do, so we're doing the best we can. And it's just bullshit, because you saw God of War, you've played other PlayStation games, especially as late as this came in the life cycle of the PlayStation. It was just a bullshit excuse, kind of like the excuses that Gearbox makes for Aliens. Which, even though they say they can't put a patch that has as good as textures of the PC version, which I can understand, I do feel like they could do a graphical upgrade patch for the console versions. At least make it optional for people who have hard drives. If it's not running at a decent frame rate, optimize that shit. I've seen better graphics running on the Unreal 3 engine. You cannot tell me that's the best you can do. The demo was nice, but I mean, it wasn't like, man, these are the best graphics I ever saw. And I'm referring to the demo that wasn't part of the actual gameplay footage that everybody wanted to play, including myself. Seems like that game always gets brought up when I play games lately. I guess those guys are more experience points because they take a lot more hits to kill. Yes, 1 coin. Can you tell they're making you like kill over and over again to make this game last longer than it needs to be? Well, don't I have something that fits into this door? I thought I picked something up. Apparently I don't have anything. I went the wrong way. I don't want to keep you guys hanging, so I'm gonna leave you guys here at that. This is Castlevania Curse of Darkness, the last Japanese 3D Castlevania. Try at your own risk, you might like it. Look at other people's actual review. This doesn't show you much of the game at all, so yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope if this game was boring, you at least got something out of this commentary. And I just leveled up. How about that? What a way to end a video. Hooray. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.